Football dads, are we? Welcome to the show, the Arsenal Alliance show. It looks like it's just going to be me on my own tonight because Scott, uh, New Zealand's biggest Arsenal fan, Scott, the man from tomorrow, he's unwell. I've had a message saying he's unwell and he can't join me tonight. So excuse me if I get all this a bit fumbly and a bit nervousy and all that. But doing these shows, it's all right doing a video on your own, but doing lives on your own is a bit daunting. It's a bit daunting for me. First thing I like to get out of the way is I've got to shout out to my pal William. William, a West Ham fan. Bro, what happened? What happened, bro? I was getting all the banter from other fans as well. What happened? Arsenal absolutely annihilate West Ham, get their revenge after losing twice already this season to West Ham. We lost twice already, knocked out the League Cup and lost in the league at the Emirates. Both games at the Emirates, and we wait until we play them at the London Stadium to show up and hit them for 6. I couldn't believe the result, a blinding result on the back of that brilliant Liverpool victory as well. And the 2 victories before that, Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. So we scored 16 goals in all them 4 games since we come back from Dubai. We scored 16 goals and conceded, we conceded only 2. So they must have been doing something special out there in Dubai. I was against it because we lost 3 games previous to that. One of them was the West Ham game. We lost 3 games previous to that, and I wasn't up for it. I thought, no, don't. I was looking at it as they was going to give him a reward. Just give him a reward. Yeah, no. But what I didn't realise, and a little bit like short-sighted, was that absolutely regenerated them. It regenerated them, and they seemed, because last season we started very fast and we was blitzing teams. We had a couple of little losses in between before we fell off the top. Do you know what I mean? So we sort of, I think we burnt ourselves out a little bit. And don't forget as well, in this in between at the end, like in the winter, we had the World Cup. So the players, I feel, were, instead of people, other pundits and other fans are saying that Arsenal bottled it, I think they were so fatigued. I think they was all knackered. And this season, like, we started slow. We didn't go all guns blazing like we did last year. And we sort of kept a bit in reserve for the second half of the season. Had that winter break in Dubai. Done some brilliant training out there. The set piece coach must, he must have had an epiphany, because I think Declan Rice took about 2 or 3 corners in the first 20 games of the seasons, and since we come back from Dubai, and in them 4 games, he's took like 12 set pieces, corners and free kicks, and the game on Sunday against West Ham, two of them set pieces he took were assists. He took the corner. I think he assisted the goal for was it Saliba's goal, and then he took a free kick that assisted Gabriel's goal, I believe, if I remember rightly. Let me know if I ain't. But I really do think this Dubai break has give us the energy, give us the I don't know. It's given us our heart back, if you like, because we did start. We lost 3 games before we went on the spin, and we looked jaded. But even though we started the season slower than we did the season before, we did look a little bit tired. And I was thinking, if we're saving energy for the second half of the season, why do they look so knackered? Maybe it might be a bit psychological. I don't really know. But let's get back to the West Ham game, and the game was unbelievable. It was the best performance I've seen under Mikel Arteta. And Mikel Arteta, he's got to give him his flowers. I'm telling you now. There's other mainstream media and pundits saying if we don't win a title this year, then Mikel Arteta should be sacked. Sacked. We come second last season to the best team in the world. The best team in the world. Runners up to the best team that's played in it. That's the best Man City team last season I've seen. even in their season where they got 100 goals. I think this team they've got right this minute with Haaland up front, you know, it was unbelievable. He got over 50 goals, didn't he? 50 odd goals. He got 3 consecutive hat-tricks at home. He was an absolutely amazing last season. It's been a little bit, you know, they've been as scoring as many goals this year. I know he's been injured for a little while. He's back now, and you know he's got back on the score sheet the weekend against Everton. So they're coming back. They're coming strong again the second half of the season, Man City. But Arsenal got to keep up with them. And Liverpool as well. Liverpool are in the mix this season. So it's a 3-horse race, it seems, at the moment. And, you know, I think we have got a great chance. I don't think I've said before, I don't really think we're quite there yet. But, you know, I mean, we're on par with Liverpool, no doubt. Make no mistake about that. But, you know, being on the level of Man City, we're not quite on that level with Man City yet. So in that game, every player as well, every single player was brilliant. But look, the goalkeeper didn't have nothing to do, so you know we can't really say much about his performance because I think there was only one shot on target the whole game, and Arsenal had about 20 or something like that, so ridiculous. And Ben White was immense. 2 centre halves, Gabriel and Saliba, mustard, mate. Kirill was even good. Havertz, a player that I don't rate. Even he had a good game. Odegaard was balling. Declan Rice was running the show back at the London Stadium, you know, getting booed as well. Don't forget he was getting booed. And you know what? I was sort of half hoping he did celebrate his goal. Not for the fact that to disrespect West Ham, and I'm going to get into how these other teams are disrespecting Arsenal as well, and pundits and everybody else. But Declan Rice showed respect, put his hands up, and went up like when he scored his goal. He didn't want to celebrate, he didn't want to go mental, but he was being booed relentlessly. I know there was a certain corner of the West Ham fan base that was clapping him, and you know they accept it. But Declan Rice, to what I heard, was getting booed, and it must have took everything inside of him to keep his respect and keep his maturity, not to go mad and run up to the away fans and just like say something to him as he scored that goal because it was a wonderful goal. Good evening, Scott. Nice to see you in the comments, mate. Thank you very much. Any questions, just drop them in because I'm winging it on my own. And you know, Scott's pulled out. He's not very well. Dan can't make it. So thank you for being here, Sean. You can come in if you want, if you've got time. You've got the link, mate. I'll just put you straight in. But yeah, I think it was a brilliant game, and you know, going forward, I think we're gonna keep up with them. We might, you know, there's possibly a few games there that we're gonna struggle with. One, yeah, sorry, Sean. I think I called you Scott. I meant to say Scott can't make it. Thank you for being in the comments, mate. Sorry, Sean. Apologise for that, mate. Where was I now? I forgot where I was. Yeah, it was better going forward. It was going forward. You've got Burnley next, and I think that's a definite winnable game. A bit tricky, you know, away at Burnley, but I think we'll do that. I think we'll do well. They're going to play with a low block. I think that we're going to. I think we're going to be able to work them out. Do you know why? Because they looked a different animal against West Ham and Liverpool. The first 20 minutes, they took their time to warm up because remember last season when we was going from the first whistle, from the kickoff, we was at it. We was at it all our season. And, you know, the burnout, fatigue, the World Cup in the middle of it, you know, it didn't help. But this season, we started nice and slow at a good pace. You know, fans were getting on the back. I was even getting on the back a little bit of Arteta saying, why is it so different? Why are we sitting back? So why are we not going for the games? Why are we not going for the juggler like we did last year? Now I'm starting to realise that It was all a plan. It was all a plan, just like what City do. Very, very similar to Man City. They relentlessly go on like a 10, 12, maybe even 15 game winning streak at the last 10, 15 games. You know, and they come back at us. They come back at us. Although we did sort of hand it to them. We was 5 points clear at the top at one stage, and you know, then we had them draws and losses. We drew Liverpool after being 2-0 up, West Ham after being 2-0 up, and then we lost to Forest. Who when they beat us, they had more to play for. Though I think Forest was more up for it because they won that game and it saved their season. It kept them in the Premier League. Then and actually losing that game gifted Man City the title. To be fair, I got a comment there from Sean. Sorry, Sean. Let me get me old papers. Havertz box crashing 1-0 in the first 20 minutes. Yeah, but I think Havertz played very well. I think, you know, I'm not his biggest fan, but I think he had a great game. The whole team, Trossard was immense. Leandro Trossard, I swear to God, he's got to start. I know Jesus is injured, and this is why Trossard come on and was starting the game. But I think he was brilliant. I wasn't sure where he was supposed to be playing, whether he was playing as the false 9, the 9, the 10, or the 8, and Havertz as well. Because they at times they was up front together, and like it was right at 4-4-2 at times. I mean, I'm not a technical genius, but I was watching it and I was thinking they're up front together. Did anybody else notice that? Did you, Sean? Did you notice that? I thought to myself, Kiwior even played very well. He was up front. He was running the line. He was making himself available in the box. It was an absolute brilliant performance. I've not seen it. Not seen it this season. How well Arsenal played. And I mean, I'd like to see what anybody else thinks if you're going to watch this on the replay. Let me know what you think. And if you're watching there, put a comment in. What do you think it is? Do you think that Dubai trip absolutely was what we needed? To me, I was against it, as I said before, but I think it's definitely what we needed. And, you know, and it sort of give us our energy back. It give us back the eye of the tiger, because now the confidence inside me also is filling up. It's filling up. I was like thinking, we're at it. After them 3 defeats, and then we went to Dubai. I got the needle, but we come back first game. We beat Palace 5-0. 5-0. I couldn't believe we was a little bit jittery in the Forest game. 2-1, we beat them, but we was a little bit jittery there towards the end of that last 10 minutes when, you know, they got a goal back and it was 2-0, then it was 2-1. They got that goal back and they peppered us for a little while. But the defence, we've got the best defence in the league. The centre half pairing, Saliba and Gabriel, is the best centre half pairing in the Premier League. It's the best centre half pairing we've had for years. I mean that. We've been so fragile in defence over the last 10 years or so that the last season and this season, and this season especially, adding Declan Rice, we've lost Partey. Remember that, and all. We lost Thomas Partey. We've lost Jesus for certain parts of the season. We've lost Tommy Arsu for certain parts of the season as well. We're losing players, Jury and Timber, a new sign. He looked double good, didn't he? But we lost him right at the start of the season. He's been out all year. You know, the bench looks weak because them players are not in the team. They're not in the squad, I should say. But if they're in the squad, if they're in the team or on the bench, all of a sudden it looks sweet. It does look sweet. I still think maybe we might need a better striker than Eddie Nketiah. But the goals on Sunday, they come from everybody. Saka got 2, Gabriel, Saliba, Trossard. What's a goal he scored, Trossard? It was a brilliant goal. And he had about 3 or 4 attempts before that. He hit one wide, hit one over the bar. Great save from Ariola, the keeper, from one of them. So he had a few shots he had a couple on target, a couple over or wide, and he scores one. Trossard is a baller. He's starting to show. He's getting some game time. He's starting to show the form he did when he was at Brighton and when we bought him. He's starting to show that form, and we've got to latch onto that with both fans. We can't let go of him. We can't just drop him out of the squad, drop him out of the team because of Jesus is back. Jesus might have to play a little bit more of a fight his way back in the team and be a bit more of a bench player, a bit part. And that to give Trossard a run of games, give him his chance. Because, excuse me, sorry, I honestly believe that he's balling at the moment. And we cut Odegaard as well. Did I mention Odegaard? Odegaard was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. One of his best games this season as well. Everyone, Saka, I don't know what's happened to him because I thought he looked jaded. Even though the last 3 games where we've won, I thought it didn't seem it wasn't the same player as what he was last season still. But I'm not going to say it's because West Ham was so bad because I'm not taking nothing away from my team, mate, because we was absolutely brilliant. And that's all these pundits are saying. They're saying that they're not talking about how well Arsenal played. They're more talking about how bad West Ham are, which is disrespectful. It is the disrespect for Arsenal, and they disrespect Man United as well because Man United started to come good a little bit. They're going to get up there. They're going to be fighting for the top 4 with Spurs probably, and Rasmus Højlund he started scoring. I think he scored in the last 5 games. I say it's a record for Man United. But the disrespect, do you know why? Because they hate us. They hate both of us. Because we were so dominant. We were so dominant in the 90s. Before Abramovich came with his dough for Chelsea, it was Arsenal and Man United. It was Arsenal and Man United, would it? Tell me if I'm wrong, because Wenger and Fergie, they was, at that time, they was the best 2 managers in that league, and we had the best 2 teams, and it was them or us basically for most of the 90s. They won the first Premier League. Blackburn got one in there somewhere, but it was us and them, and now the hatred and the disrespect is for both of us, both teams, and it's like they're saying why ain't the same negativity and the same whatever, I can't think of another word, press for these other teams. Where's all the shit for Chelsea? I don't hear, or what I do hear sometimes a little bit, but they're sort of accepting it with Chelsea. Oh well, it's Chelsea. There's not so much direct hate for them, or as there is for Arsenal and Man United. Spurs are getting flowers all the time, but what they're 4th. Why? If Spurs don't finish in the top 4. Why aren't they being coached? Because it's only Spurs. They're saying they're not jealous of Spurs. They're not jealous of other teams. They're not jealous of Chelsea. They might have been at one stage jealous of the money that they have or they've got, and they've used it. They've not used it correctly since Todd Bowley took over. I think he's in a bit of trouble with the profit and sustainability or financial fair play. I think they're in a little bit of trouble as well, but they've not used their money correctly. They won yesterday, but against Crystal Palace. But they're the players they've bought, the players that they've stole a couple of players from Arsenal, didn't they? What was the winger's name? Mudryk. They stole him from us because he was coming to us, and I think we definitely dodged the bullet there. João Felix, we went in for him first, got him on. Oh no, we're getting him. Offered him more money. How did that work out? Do you know what I mean? So, but the best player in their team, I think, they've got two very good players in their team, Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, he was at Man City, but they're not getting the hatred. They spent all that money. They're not getting the same hatred as what Arsenal are getting. And Man United, because they're coming good, they're getting a lot of shit in there. They're saying sack Ten Hag, sack Arteta if we don't win a title. What? So if Arsenal finish second, So if Arsenal finish second again in the league, or even third, but there's say there's 1 or 2 points in between the top three, whatever ways, they're saying it's going to be a failure to finish runners up or just behind the next best team to Man City, who are the best team in the world. How can that be a failure? At least it's consistent, and at least we're still trying. We was there, 3/4 of the way last season, and we just didn't have enough at the end, and Man City comes strong. Cole Palmer looks very good. He really does. And Man City, they might be regretting that one. Might be regretting, but they've got such a good squad. They can't play everyone. So maybe they've done it for his own career. And maybe they said, you know what, we're going to let you go because of your career. That's the only thing I can think of. They might have, they've done the right thing there, maybe. But they might be regretting it a little bit. But where would he play? Where would he play in the City team? It'd be more rotation. Yeah, they've got loads of games. You've got the Champions League. You've got whatever games in the season. You've got the domestic cups. But he's very good at rotating players anyway. So if you thought he was going to rotate him, he would have probably kept him, Pep. But I don't know. I don't know with that one because he's doing very, very well for Chelsea in a poor team, in a very poor team. He's doing very, very well. I don't think I'm not. Depending on where they finish in the league, Chelsea, I can't see them. They probably won't get into Europe again. So maybe Cole Palmer might be leaving. I think Conor Gallagher might be leaving. I've heard whispers that he's interested. He's got some interest in him. I'm not sure what teams. I can't remember. I did know, but I can't remember what team was interested in him. I think it was Newcastle was one of them, maybe. I think Liverpool might have been the other one actually. Conor Gallagher, but they've just rebuilt their midfield, so maybe not. But anyway, let's have a look down my little list because I'm winging this, by the way, everybody out there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it flowing, but normally I've got people to banter off Scott or Dan. Dan couldn't make it either from the Gooner channel. Sean sometimes goes on Dan's channel, and he's here now with me. Thank you, Sean, man. I appreciate it. Let's have a look what you got to say now. Guardiola can rotate players because he has the resources for 2 internationals per position. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right, Sean. They've got man for man, every position. They've got a player as good to replace. And that's something that no one else has got. No one else has got that. And it's a shame because Arsenal could have had close to that without their injuries. Can you imagine Jesus, Thomas Partey, Julian Timber on the bench, Tommy Arsenal on the bench available? Can you imagine that? That's 4 players there. So, we've got a defender, midfielder, attacker. It's sometimes I think it's not fair. Maybe the football gods up there, the football gods, they might hate Arsenal as well because we don't have a good run of things with injuries. We're very unlucky. Over the years, we've had some, Jack Wilshere, Thomas Rosicky. There's been loads. Santi Cazorla. I've forgotten the midfielder's name now. Reminded me a little bit of Yaya Toure. I can't think of his name. It's gone right out of my head. But yeah, over the years we've had so many bad injuries and long-term injuries, recurring injuries as well. And it's not the football gods ain't been playing fair on Arsenal either. I don't even know what it is. They were saying other fans are having a go at is it the physios? Is it this? Is it the medical staff? Why is it always happening to us? But it does happen to a lot of teams as well. I'm not just saying why me, why us. But we have been very unlucky, and the players of the calibre. Diaby, that's it, Sean. Thank you. Yeah, Diaby. What potential he had? Jack Wilshere is one of the ones that hurts the most. Comes through the academy, loves Arsenal through and through. Brilliant player. Gets that. I think it was a knee injury, wasn't it? Was it a knee or was it an ankle? I can't. But he just done it again and again and again, and he was so unlucky. He was so skillful, man. It was. Oh yeah, it hurts me, man, when I think about that. And what a career he could have had. He would have just been retiring about now, I reckon. Where old is he? He's got to be about 34, something like that, I think now. Jack Wilshere. He was so young when he came into the team, 17 or something like that he was. And he was balling. Thomas Rosicky, another one. Great player. Santi Cazorla. These players, I love Santi Cazorla. What a player he was. Brilliant midfielder. But, you know, we've just been so unlucky. And, you know, it's hard to pin the blame on you know, towards the end of Wenger's tenure. That he went to pot. He said fourth place is a trophy and all that, but you know you can only do so much, and you can only have so much bad luck. I can't put everything down to him. I did think he got a bit outdated. I did think his tactics and you know what his game plans and all that got a bit. I don't know. Got a bit tired, if that's the word. You know, it was easy to suss out in the end, and. You know, I think he stayed on about 5 or 6 years too long, maybe. Maybe if we'd have got another, we might have won a couple more league titles if we'd have got like an Ancelotti or someone like that. Or, you know, whoever else, another top manager in a little bit earlier than when he actually did retire. Because when he did retire, it was a bit of a scramble, wasn't it? We got, you know, Freddie Ljungberg. And then Unai Emery, he was a great manager himself as it happens, but people were just taking the piss out of him. His position become unattainable because of the English. He couldn't speak very good English, good evening and whatever. And I don't know, he might have lost the dressing room. I'm not sure, but he's doing well at Villa. Excuse me. Excuse me. He's doing well at Villa, so, you know, am I happy that he left? Yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't have wanted to keep him on, even though he's doing all right at Aston Villa. I don't think he was the man. Did I want Mikel Arteta? No, I didn't. I'll admit that. I wanted Mourinho before he went to Spurs. I know people are probably going to slag me off for it, but he's a winner. He was unlucky to get sacked from Man United. I think it was a terrible thing that happened to him there. He shouldn't have been sacked at Man United, but then it was player power again. They didn't like the discipline, I suppose. But see when players stop playing for their manager, that's when you know they've got no respect and they've lost the dressing room. That's when you've got to get rid of them. I think that did happen to Unai Emery. That did happen to Jose Mourinho at Man United. It did happen to Jose Mourinho at Chelsea as well, and at Spurs. I wouldn't have Mourinho now because he's been to Spurs. But what I'm saying is player power has come into force over the last 10 years or so, and it does. I don't know. It might have been going on before that, but what I've only noticed it really in my mind the last 10 years that the players can get the manager sacked as well as the fans. Look at what happened at the West Ham game at half time. I don't know if it's half, but a good few thousand fans left. They actually filmed outside the stadium. It was all speeding out of the gates, weren't they? Going through Westfield, Stratford, the shopping centre there. They was just leaving. My mate was there. Two of my mates were there. And they both left at half time. One of them's sons was his birthday, and he brought him to watch the West Ham game for his birthday. And they had to sit and watch that. 4 they were coming up. We're going. You know, they went for their meal or wherever they went. They went somewhere else first because obviously they was booked. But you know, they went. They left early. Didn't want to upset him no more. He was like, you know, getting really upset about it. So he didn't want to get him upset or angry or whatever. So he said, "Come on, it's your birthday. Let's go and just start this game. Sod this game. Let's go out and you know, do our thing for your day. Don't let West Ham spoil it because they was poor, man. Is David Moyes going to be sacked? I believe so. I don't think he's the right man for the job anymore. I know they won their second-rate European trophy last season, but I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. And this season, you know, I think it's been 6 games since they've won their last game. 6 games they've played, and the last game they won was against us. And what's this? I can get on live in 5 minutes. Oh, well, thanks, Sean. Hopefully you still got the links. I am using my phone. Sean's going to come on in about 5 minutes, so let's try and waffle on a little bit. I've been trying to wing this. It's a bit daunting doing it on your own, these lives. But I was hoping for a few comments, a few viewers, and there's only Sean watching. I think there's someone else watching. I've got 2 viewers at the moment. So that's all right, I suppose. You know what I mean? I'm new to this. Well, not new to it, but I'm not very good at it. You know, you've got to get your experience up and get your point across and get what you think. As long as you say what you think, don't try and copy other people. As long as you say what you think, I think it'll be all right. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'm going to do anyway. All I'm going to do is speak what I think. Hopefully, you know, when Sean's going to come on, we might have a little chat about other things that we disagree with. It's brilliant. It's banter. It's, you know, camaraderie. And I like that because it helps. It helps keeping other people interested. It means that you ain't got to listen to my boring voice if you do watch the video. You haven't got to watch my boring voice for too long, which is, you know, good for you. Right, let's have a look then. I did make a few notes. I think I've gone through most of it, to be fair. Let me have a quick scan through. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, I mentioned about the World Cup in the middle. Yeah, I've mentioned this. Yeah, the disrespect for Arsenal, the pundits was another thing about the over celebrating of the Liverpool game. The celebrations, maybe I don't know whether the players will listen to all these arseholes, you know, slagging us off for the celebrations in the Liverpool game, but that was a very important game. Right, this game against West Ham also was a very important game, a must-win, because of obviously Man City winning their game against, I think it was Everton, and Liverpool beating Burnley, going 1-0 down as well. But it did put a lot of pressure on us as well. So they're saying that beating Liverpool was a relief win. So beating West Ham a relief win as well. Because if we'd have lost that game, you know, we'd have still been 4 points behind or something like that. You know, but as it stands, we're still on joint goals as well, joint goal difference with Man City. I was hoping for a 7th goal, so we could have got into 2nd place on goal difference. I know Man City have got that game in hand though. You know, I keep having to remind myself because they played in that Super Cup, or you know, because they won the Champions League and that they played the winners of the other European Cup. Or was it that one, or was it? Anyway, they've got a game in hand over us, and we're on the same points and the same goal difference. So that's hang on 1 second. Here we go. Hang on. Sorry, Sean. Are you in? You're in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Right, all right, Sean, how are you?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I've been trying to wing this this live. I've waited up for, it's gone for half hour now that I've been talking for, so it ain't been too bad.
No, it's been grand. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, isn't it? So it's what can you say? It's interesting times, and I hope everyone's using this time to try and think things nice and deep. You know what I mean? You've touched on some really important points. I mean, look at Chelsea. Look at how much money they've spent, and look at what they've got. They are, you know, I mean, I don't like them, but at the same time, I'm not laughing at them just for the sake of it. They are a laughing stock. I mean, they spent so much money, and they're just, you know, look at the comments coming out, like Abon Lahore talking about, you know, Modric running into a mannequin on the pitch. That's embarrassing. If that was, if he was saying that about one of our players, I'd be embarrassed.
Yeah. I think I can't believe how far down. What are they in 12th? Is it 12th they're in? Well, they won yesterday, so they might have gone up. I did watch
that match. Didn't impress me very much. I mean, the goals were very sameish, sort of dragbacks. I don't think Roy would be too happy about, letting the same goal in that many times. But really, Gallagher looks all right. I know Dan Laguna is hot for Gallagher. He loves him.
Conor Gallagher, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Good player. Him and Palmer, if they were at Chelsea.
Yeah, Palmer is really good.
Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a tickle. If they weren't there at Chelsea, where would they be?
No, exactly. I mean, they spent all that money. Enzo scored in the end. He was supposed to be amazing. He was supposed to be the best central midfielder in the world. I wouldn't have him dusting off Rice's shoes at the moment. So
they cost around about the same money, didn't they?
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, I mean,
100 million or something, weren't he? 100 million.
Bargain, and no one's mentioning Enzo at all.
What did you think of Declan Rice not celebrating his goal?
Look, he's got his own relationship with the West Ham fans. It's a personal thing. He's decided to give them some respect. They decided not to give him any. He led with respect, and at the end of it, they gave it back to him. So, look, fair play to him. He showed a lot of maturity. I would have given it to him. I would have gone, yeah, fucking how about that? Because they gave him so much shit. He didn't deserve it. He was sold. He gave him plenty of warning. He's dealt with nothing but honourably with that club. Yeah, he ended up getting them an absolute fortune off us.
Yeah,
and they give him shit. And he signed off with winning a European trophy. How could you do anything other than give him praise?
Well, why not just say, "Go on, Declan, you're too good for us. You're too good for us. Go and play." But they were saying, "Oh, I thought you was going to go and play for a top team." And all before when they beat us, they beat us twice before at the Emirates.
Yeah,
both games they beat us at the Emirates, weren't it? And it was his first game back at the London Stadium, and they done that. I've had little arguments. Listen, I'm from East London, yeah, so I've got a lot of friends,
right,
that are West Ham,
right,
and I've had this debate with them. And all they say is like, basically, F him. I went, you're mad.
Well,
you're crazy.
This is probably a debate for the Gooner channel, to be honest. But what does football give these people? They give them the chance to be reactionary, tribalist, and moody about fucking everything, and unreasonable. And they don't make me be reasonable. I'm supporting this club so that I can be unreasonable. So don't try and rationalise it for me. I want to call someone a cunt because I don't like the way he has his collars up. That's what and you have to respect their wishes on that one. I don't respect them, but I respect their wishes. They can say what they want, but at the end of the day, the rational people, the people who are reasonable, who just come up with a little bit of balance, they end up rising to the top. And those people who just want to cause shit all the time, they'll end up just being forgotten.
Yeah. Well, I think they're being asked, because if it was me, I know because I'm an Arsenal fan.
You're right, completely. Yeah.
I'm just saying it. I'm saying it. If I was a West Ham fan, I would definitely be saying, look, we are who we are, right? We've never been a title challenging team. You're too good for us. You deserve to go and try and win something bigger, like the Premier League or the Champions League. And unfortunately for us, it's come to us. But it could have gone to Man United. It could have gone to Man City.
Yeah.
Out of Liverpool.
He could have done it. And even if you don't concede that he's too good for your club, the way he went about it was honourable. He gave him plenty of advance notice. He turned down a contract. He stayed through his contract. Didn't try to spoil for an early move. He made sure that he got them a massive, massive payout. And he won a trophy on his way out the door. I mean, what the fuck? What would you want? Look what Van Persie did to us. We got I could get the violin out for as an Arsenal fan for the way people have left us. Sanchez left us because I fancy something else. Or can I come back? No, you can't. You just signed a contract, you dumbass.
Yeah.
All that sort of thing. People have ditched us and then gone, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. And the Schadenfreude, the feeling you get afterwards is like, well, okay, he wish he hadn't gone, but he did go, and we're still fucked. But in this case, not Paris. What do I keep thinking? I keep thinking saying Pat Rice.
Pat Rice, yeah. I
I
wonder
keep
if they're
calling him
related.
Pat Rice.
They're
Yeah.
both Irish.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I think that if you're going to leave, when you're getting too big for a club, bearing in mind he did come from Chelsea, and he didn't go back to them. He went from Chelsea to West Ham. He ended up being a fantastic player and just going through it and through it and through it. In my opinion, he outgrew them, but he made sure that they didn't that they got something out of it, and that's the thing they're not remembering. He didn't think, "Oh, I'm too good for you. You're just a little, you're a bunch of this, that, and the other." He wasn't like that. He loved them. They loved him back, and he's like, "Okay, look, it's time to move on. God bless you. Here's 100,000+ pounds, to remember me by." And they should be going and a trophy, and they should be like
105 million, not thousand.
Yeah. Sorry, million. Excuse me. They should be saying, "Fair play to you, mate. Thanks very much. All the best."
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly
that.
He was like, "Hey guys, I want to win something. You can go fuck yourselves." You know what I mean? That's a completely different kind of situation. We set him up to be a legend. He decided he didn't want to stay the distance, and he decided to be a dick about it. Okay, fair enough. Off you go. Now, don't try and pretend now that you're one of us. You decided not to be. Yeah. Declan Rice made his departure from West Ham, in my opinion, in a sufficiently classy way, where he can be a legend for Arsenal and still be remembered fondly by.
Ultimately, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the guys, I just can't get over the fact that they're slagging him off. I can't, and they booed him. But
after that hands down, after he scored a screamer and didn't celebrate, that seemed to win over what little of the crowd remained in the stadium.
Yeah, but I said it. I said it earlier on this show. I said, "How we didn't run up to the fans and give it to them." He's a better man than me, because exactly. I would have run back and give it back to them. Take that. You know what I mean?
I'm giving them 10 middle fingers. I'd have given them. No, seriously, because it doesn't work, and it just shows he's mature. Here I turned 50 this year, and he's in his early 20s, and he's more mature than I would have been. I would have coated them.
Yeah, because you just, of course, because you take all that, but that could have caused proper scenes there if he'd have run up to them and all, because half of the West Ham fans are all lunatics, isn't they?
Jack is an emotional guy. He'd had enough from us. He knew he wasn't playing very well. He knew that he had a red card or a bollocks lateral pass that turned into a goal against us in him, like every other game. And we were giving it to him, and he'd had enough, and he was like, "Oh, go fuck yourselves," he boiled over. He couldn't handle it anymore, and they gave it to him. He lost twice. They loved it. They coated him. They gave it like he left in some kind of bad terms, which of course he didn't, and he just took it, and then he finally got this thing to slate him, and it was best served cold, best served cold. He just was down. He goes, "Yeah, how do you like that?"
So let me just try to get my drink. 1 second.
Yeah, go for it. Looking at boxing man at the back there.
I didn't bring out my water.
When you're back, I mean, the important thing to talk about for me is overreaction within ourselves, because we had that blip. We were top of the league. We're going to win everything. And then we lose 2 games. Forget about the FA Cup game, which was a shame, but it was thematic, but it was an FA Cup game against Liverpool, and anything happened. We lost 2 games, and that was West Ham when we were all over them. That time we didn't score. This time we did. And Fulham, where we played like total shit. We dropped 6 points against that we should really have got all 6 points. Right? Went away to Dubai, came back, won 5-0. Won 2-1, won the big one, and then won 6-0. Okay, and that's what's happened in the last few games, right? It's been said about us Arsenal fans, that we're a little bit swings and roundabouts. So when we're winning, we think we're going to win everything, going to win the fucking Super Bowl, And then when we're losing, then we should sack the manager and set fire to the stadium, And I think it's time people started paying attention to that reputation. I think it may be well deserved. Let's just everyone take a chill pill and go, right, we've had a couple of bad results. That's a shame. It might end up harming our season. We might look back on that and go, this is why we didn't win it. We might. No, we won 3 or 4 good results. Just keep your feet on the ground. We haven't won anything.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't won anything yet, but we're in the right direction. We should have a bit of confidence going to the last bit of the season, like Man City normally do.
Yeah.
And that might help us a lot. A few people coming out from injury and this and that and the other. All right, great. And let's try and think long term. You know, what's going to happen? I mean, I'm certain we're going to sign Zubimendi in the summer. Certain. And I imagine he's going to play either. He's probably going to play wide 8 on and Havertz will probably end up being a sort of benchman, you know, utility midfielder, striker kind of player. That's what I'm expecting. I've been wrong many times before, but from what I've said, from what little bit that we get from Rice in the interviews and this, that, and the other, is that Arteta wants him to play 6, no matter what. He wants him to play 6, and that's that.
Yeah.
So if I know he's got a massive hard on for Zubimendi, and he went to Real Sociedad San Sebastian, which, if you haven't been, by the way, I recommend you go. It's a really nice place.
Right.
I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to play 8, and I think he's going to give us a lot of progressive passing and interceptions. And this. And
what a sign that would be, Sean.
Yeah, I think he's Jorginho basically. I think he's a young Jorginho. That's what he probably sees in him.
I was a bit gutted for him, Jorginho, when he obviously I didn't realise he had like a slight foot injury. But when I see the lineup, I thought, why has he dropped Jorginho? He had such a good game against Liverpool, but because he was on the bench, I didn't realise that he had like a little slight, you know, he wasn't 100%. So obviously that was why. But I think he's coming into his own, Arteta. I think it's all just starting to click together. I think this was a game plan. You know, our last season we started and we was like gung ho. We was killing team. We was murdering them. But I think, and the World Cup in the middle of the season as well didn't help. I think it was fatigue and burnout that fucked us.
Yeah, I think it played a part in it. Definitely, I do.
Yeah, I really do. But Man City didn't start fast. Man City were just coasting.
They don't. You notice that. They don't start fast.
And this is. I think this is what we've done this year. I've been going, why? I've been saying, why aren't we playing the same as last year? Look how well we did. When we've got a World Cup this year in the middle, why can't we just keep it going? But I think he's sort of learned. Arteta, he's learned from. He's getting experience on the job with us, and I think he's learned from that. And now I think that with the last, what have we got left now? What are we? 14 games. The last 14 games. It's gone so quick this season as well. To be fair, for the last 14 games, we've saved that energy. We've saved that, and I think, you know, with players coming back from injury, like you just said, I think Timber's been picked for the Champions League squad. Like, you know, we've got to register the players in for. Tim,
I mean,
so
he's playing more than 15 minutes in any match before the end of the season. But he can come on and rest some legs. Partey can come on and rest some legs. You know, Declan Rice is going to need to have a fucking bit of a sit down at some point. So
Saka.
Yeah, Saka. And who's the only person that I can think of that could ever, you know, fill Saka's boots? It's probably Jesus.
Yeah.
The biggest argument for me for us signing a striker is to free up Jesus to be able to cover for Saka.
That would be. I don't know why he hasn't done that, because I think he done that for Man City. He played on the flanks for City, didn't he?
There's been a bit of a tickle. I mean, we all know that 90% certain Mbappe is going to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But apparently Arsenal and Liverpool have had a little bit of a tickle, and I'm sure they've thought about it, because, I mean, could you imagine the point of that arrow? If that point of that arrow is, you know, hands down best striker in the world, you've got to look into it. But if he wants, you know, something absurd, you know, like 300 million, you know, that sort of thing, north of, I think it's Haaland's on. He's being paid 300 million just in the books. and then God knows what out the books.
Yeah.
If Dan was on, he'd be able to tell you he's good at that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we just can't do it. We can't do that. We're not a dirty club. We haven't got this backer, you know, who can just sign blank checks. But imagine how good we'd be with him.
Yeah. Or even Osman. Mate.
I think that backer shit all over Osman. Personally.
Yeah, I get that. But even Osman. I mean, even if we signed him, you know, is a definite upgrade on.
We need an out-and-out striker. I said this on Dan's live last week, but we don't play that way. Our tactics are to play a false nine, which is why Havertz had a good game, the one before last. You know, he was playing false nine, and he did all right at false nine because we play with a false nine. We've got everyone around him used to playing with a false nine. Jesus plays a false nine, so what we're really looking for is another false nine, because that's our tactics. That's how we play. And you know, you wonder. And I tried to say it before, but I didn't have the space. Bellingham's doing great at the moment, playing at this sort of shadow striker role as a midfielder. What happens when Mbappe comes into Real Madrid? What's he going to be then? He's going to have to change his role because there won't be that space ahead of him. He's got the moment.
Mbappe would be there, wouldn't he? Yeah, of course.
Mbappe knows how to occupy, a 6-yard box. Obviously, So that's not going to be available to him. So he's going to have to change that. Now, it just happens that Bellingham is class enough that he can adapt to any style. So I'm sure he'll be grand. But for us, you go, well, you know, why does it not work with Nketiah? Nketiah, for me, is a number 9, a traditional number 9 who could play with a traditional number 10. If he had a Merson or he had a Bergkamp, I think he'd score a hatful of goals. But we don't play like that. We play getting the ball to our wingers to play as sort of cameo strikers, don't we?
Yeah, they're called inside forwards. They're called, didn't they? Yeah, they cut inside on their other foot.
Yeah, and they score a shed load of goals, and that's why they're wrong-footed, if you like, on their wings. They didn't used to be. You know, back in the day, we used to have Davies. We used to have, you know, used to have all those players that would always they'd just go down the byline and cross, and then, you know, Alan Smith or Kevin Campbell would head it in.
Yeah. I remember. Do you think that I noticed a lot of interchanging? I mean, I see Martinelli over on the right with Saka.
Right at the beginning of the game, he was right next to Saka. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's going on? But then Trossard and Havertz was over the other side.
Yeah.
And at one point, I see they looked like they was playing a 4-4-2 with Havertz and Trossard up front together, or one was just behind.
I'm with you, Lee.
Trossard had a brilliant game.
He did have a good game, but you know that I think you bring up a really, really good point. What does that mean? You know, because you know that's what Arteta wants. He wants all this playing around and it not going wrong. When it goes wrong, it goes spectacularly wrong, of course. For me, I took that as a sign of confidence. You know, the preparation went well, the tactics going well, we're getting the results, people are feeling good. And as a result, you end up getting Martinelli showing up right next to Saka. You go, when was the last time we saw that? We haven't seen that for a little while. And you go, when is it a good sign?
And it was on the other side. It was on the other side. It was on the left.
Yeah. Well, his left is right. Yeah. I mean, he was. I mean, you know, and then I saw the other thing that I think is a real good sign of our confidence. When Odegaard comes deep, but he bounces back up again. You know, I don't mind him coming deep for a second, but in early parts of the season, he was living there. You know, he was living near the pivots, and we were losing something. Now he comes back, makes an appearance, and fucks back up north again. You know, and that's a good sign. So those little signs where people go, they appear going, what's he doing there? And then suddenly he's back again. You go,
He's
not doing it wrong. He's doing it because he's trying to nudge the opposition into insanity.
It's confused. They looked all like their heads were spinning in West Ham.
Yeah, no, they were.
Kiwior was up front at one stage.
He could have scored. Yeah,
he could have scored. He could have scored against Liverpool. No, we had a free header in the box, didn't he?
Yeah.
Kiwior, remember, he hit straight to the keeper.
Sorry about the tangent. I'm going to jump on what you said here. All these rumours about Kiwior going and not being what Arteta wanted. I haven't come across one thing from the club that even suggests there's any legs in those stories at all.
No, I haven't heard anything. No.
it just seems to be all like made up shit. And I mean, you and I both know he's a centre back. You know, he is totally a centre back. And we're seeing some things now, and we got banjaxed by the timber industry, but we're seeing some things now because I've seen a few lives since the West Ham, and one of the big things they're saying is basically he's now got White inverted where he didn't before.
Yeah.
White's now inverting. Declan Rice obviously is now more comfortable in his role. He's playing more progressive. He's receiving the ball better at an angle. You know, that kind of stuff. The sort of stuff you talked about Wilshere earlier on. I couldn't text quick enough, so I didn't because I wanted to do it justice. I will never forget, and Dan's probably tired of hearing this from me, that game against Barcelona, where they had the best central midfield that probably has ever been put together and maybe will ever be put together. You know,
biscuits with it. Yeah,
and he was, and he went toe to toe with them. So yeah, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and what Wilshere did in that game, he would get the ball, he'd use his strength, and he'd do it. But he'd like have the eyes at the back of his head. Sometimes they let it run across him. Sometimes he'd tap it off and run, and this, that, and the other. And they didn't know what he was going to do. He was really good. I have heard reliably that this is also what Timber's very good at doing, right? And Timber, yeah.
Oh, Timber, okay.
I've heard that he's very good at receiving the ball at the level, which means, you know, the beginning of the second third, and letting it run across him, running with it, and all this kind of thing. That's what I've heard. Of course, we've had that stolen from us by shitty luck in this season.
We've had some terrible luck with injuries.
Yeah. But Wilshere did that game. I remember doing it. He did some stuff up front before, but that was the game when I said, "Oh my God, he's brilliant." I didn't realise he was that good, and that's what Declan Rice is now going to have to start doing. But I think everyone's amazed by how much he's developed in one season, Declan Rice. You know,
how about the free kick taking and the corner taking?
I didn't know he could do that. I didn't know he was that good. Like, look at all the people that we've got on our team, and he's the one that's picked to do the dead balls. How good must you be?
They must have trained in Dubai
before then.
Because you know what? Before we went to Dubai, he took I think he took 2 corners. In the 4 games we've been back, he's took 12 set pieces, including free kicks, and he took the corner that put the ball on William Saliba's head. And he took the free kick to put the ball on Gabriel's head.
And that Gabriel one was the best one. I mean, that was, it was
brilliant.
really, really good. Yeah,
and the pass.
He's done
the through ball.
His progressive passing has come along.
He's unbelievable.
A lot of people talking about it. I didn't know he could do that. I didn't know he could do that with the dead ball. So I think he's left in the right time. I think he's left in the right terms, and I think he's left to the right club. You know.
Yeah.
Because if he's Irish, then we're better for him than Arsenal anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've got a lot of Irish heritage at Arsenal.
Exactly, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he should feel right at home, to be honest.
You
know, there we are. We are, you know, this mythical two world-class players short of a world-class team. It's that carrot, isn't it? You're always 2 players away. But we're getting there. You can see the progress. You really
absolutely, and I'm sick of seeing. I'm sick of seeing these fans, you know, just not saying it's not good enough. And when we once hit a certain YouTuber, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see every week. Like he's
no praise, right? No praise.
Like Arsenal Football Club owe him something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you said it. You said it totally. Exactly that, and also that we think that we should be basically effortlessly knocking off all these people with unlimited resources, and we've got limited resources, and we go, well, why? Because I reckon. It's like, you know, you're not saying anything that the basis for conversation. Say something that makes sense. You know, what are we? What is Arsenal? I love what we are. I love we're not Man City. I love that we're not Man United.
Listen, Man City could be in a lot of trouble. We don't know yet. because
even if they're
their
not.
historical charges that they've got to face. Yeah, they're old, but it's been going on for so long and been swept away and covered up, whatever. But they've got to face them. They are historical. So before they started getting really, once they started winning their titles, way back then, and to get them to where they are now, the point is they're good now. They're not cheating now, but they did in the past. So they cheated to get where they are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, who knows?
If they're found guilty,
it depends. I mean, they've got disguised wages, as most people think. Most people think that Erling Haaland is being paid like at least 3 times more than they're declaring by doing it through dodgy this and dodgy that and dodgy the other. So, you know, the investigation continues. They've got obviously an incredible team of lawyers who are very good at delaying stuff and you know, throwing out interference and all that sort of thing. And there's always a possibility that the authorities are holding out for a massive brown envelope, which may be forthcoming. So you do bear in mind, you know, our football is massively corrupt. So let's not count that out either. I hope they get their comeuppance. I suppose after making all this noise, they have to do something, at least for show, because it looks like they're going to bust Everton twice in the same season, which I think is a little bit harsh, frankly. But and then, you know, and Chelsea in the meantime is the elephant in the room, isn't it?
Yeah. I just want to ask you one more question.
Proof, but they must be going against.
Yeah.
The English version of financial fair play is they must be.
I just want to ask you one more question before we call it a night, Scott.
Sure.
Now, last season, Man City won the title, right? Did they win the title because they won it, or did they win the title because Arsenal fell off? Because what I was thinking is, if Arsenal win the title this year, are the pundits going to say, "Oh, Arsenal only won it because Man City fell off"? Not that Arsenal went and won it; it was only because Man City, you know, they dropped off and they lost the cut. They bottled it and whatever. Not because Arsenal won it, it's because Man City bottled it. Do you think that's what they'll say? Because they didn't say that.
I'll give you the boring robotic answer first. Right now we're third. Okay, yes. Therefore, for us to finish second or first, that someone who's above us has to do something worse than we do. Right, yes. So that's the boring robotic answer. All right, and that's what happened last season. We did incredibly well. We overachieved, in my opinion, but I loved every second of it. And we fell off at the end, but they didn't drop anything. And somehow they always had the nod on us. They had the first game, the early kickoff. We were on Sunday, they were on Saturday. You know, this, that, and the other, and they got their 3 points without any fuss, without any sweat. And we had the pressure, and we felt it, and it hurt us. But I do remember back in the 90s, I remember Alex Ferguson talking about Arsenal. When we had that great game, Overmars scored, and you know, and suddenly things turned around, momentum shifted. Remember that Overmars goal in the far post when he put on his fast forward legs?
I think I do.
Yeah, we were behind.
Is that when we won the title at Old Trafford?
That's when we won the title that season. They were ahead, and we clawed it back. And I remember Alex Ferguson was saying, they will drop points. You always do. Everyone drops points. They will drop points. We fucking didn't. Not until we'd won it. Yeah. And that's what Man City did last season to us.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to remember the history a little bit to put the present into context.
Yeah.
Did Man United lose it, or did we win it that season? I think we won it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly that. That's what I was just heard someone saying on another show, like on another channel, and they were saying, if Arsenal win the title, will the pundits say Arsenal won it, or will they say Man City lost it?
The pundits will say whatever gets them column inches and gets them.
Yeah. But that was just. I just wanted to. Because if we win the title, I'm not saying Man City lost it. I'm saying Arsenal fucking won it. Do you know what I mean? Like last season, I'm not going to say Arsenal lost it. Man City won it. If you know what I mean. I'm not saying they didn't only win it because we dropped off. They won it because they went up.
Look at it, you know? Yeah, and people like to do that because they like to look at the same thing from different angles. You give a trophy to the winner because they end up with more points. Yeah. No matter how it happened, it doesn't matter how it happened. They just won more points, and that's the end of it. So move on. Next season, we start at 0-0. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I hope I'd rather Liverpool win it than Man City win it, because winning 4 in a row, it's a little bit oppressive. You know, I'm tired. I think everyone's getting a bit tired of this Man City juggernaut now. If we don't win it, I hope Liverpool do, because they're looking good this season.
You know what? I'm with you on that. I am with you.
Yeah.
My brother's a Liverpool supporter anyway. So yeah. And in 1989, when we beat them at Anfield, we had a fight in my mum's front room. Me and my brother. Yeah.
Love it. Well, that's good.
Yeah, because we watched it on telly. It was on Friday, wasn't it? We watched it indoors. It was on telly that game. I can't remember what channel it was on, but it was definitely on.
Lit like a spring salmon after scoring.
Yeah.
He could have had someone's eye out with that goal celebration.
Yeah. I think he tried to do a spin on his head, like a break dance.
I don't know what he was just ecstatic. He didn't know what to do. He just he was just like, I can't believe I just did this.
And he went to Liverpool the next year, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, sensible of him. He looks good. We'll have him. And he played with them for several years, actually. He was a good player for them. Not as good as he was for us, though.
Well, brilliant. Sean, I appreciate you coming on and saving me, bruv.
No worries, mate.
You helped me right out there. I was starting to think, you know, when you get a bit thingy, I feel, it was pretty nerve-wracking for me.
I mean, you just going out and getting a drink and say, fuck me, I'm on my own now. What do I do now? I've always been a sidekick, and I'm happy being a sidekick. But no, flying solo, you need some fucking brass balls on you, to be honest.
I'll try to do it. I thought I just got to wing this because, you know, I did when I was going to cancel it, and I thought, you know what, just get it out of the way, just do it. How you do?
I couldn't leave you. I couldn't do it, mate. I had to jump on.
You never know. You might be. You ain't got a channel, have you?
No, I'm not going to either. I'm happy being a sidekick.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I really appreciate you coming on, Sean.
All right.
I'm going to be. Hopefully, I'll be back next week. I'm not sure what day, whether it'll be Monday or Tuesday. I've got to work out what day I can do next week. But I'm going to try and lock it down to a Monday or a Tuesday.
Fair play.
Every week, so it gets consistent. And with Scott, because Scott really wants to do it as well, so he can. He'll be on. You're always welcome. We've got a little group chat now, so I'll always put. Dan don't mind me putting it in there.
Bubbling up here. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so Dan don't mind me putting the links for my channel in there and all. So I appreciated that with him. So so hopefully I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week. There'll be other videos I'm going to be putting out in the meantime. Some shorts, some little videos. I've got a little new background that I'm going to put on for my videos. I'm going to trial that, so I'll probably do that in the next couple of days. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Sean. I really appreciate it. Thanks everyone for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel if you ain't already, and I'll see you soon. Cheers, Sean. Bye, mate.
Bye now.